roster evaluation standpoint, where some guys that might be big pieces in the puzzle 3 years down the line, you don't know at all what their future is.
Yeah, I think everybody has to get rid of that mindset and understand that we're a 6-month free agent business, and every 6 months there's free agency, and you do the very best you can to build the roster you can with that kind of mindset, or with that kind of thinking. But that old style of thinking of, hey, I'm going to have 85 scholarships and I'm going to recruit four deep at each position, and once this guy leaves, then the next guy comes. That's not really realistic anymore. Our job is to build the best team that we can, so that when we start spring practice in April, we have the best or in March, we have the best team possible, knowing that in April there's another free agency period and your team could look drastically different. So, I would just caution everybody, including Mizzou Twitter, that it's really going to be okay. It's going to be okay. We value production over potential, and that's going to be a key driving force for us in the decisions we make with player acquisition and player development. So, it is what it is.
Eli, the two linebackers you guys are able to bring on, what did you like about what they'll bring to this program, and how important for you was it to bring a couple linebackers in?
Yeah, obviously Mackay has played in 25 games, 15 career starts, at 73 tackles. This year he had 49 tackles. Was an All-American candidate at Sports Illustrated. Played a really tough, good physical nature at Nebraska, and was a really big time get for us. And then obviously Josiah Trotter, who was the Big 12 Defensive Freshman of the Year. And so very excited about what he brings to the table. He had 92 tackles, 4 TFLs, an interception, 5 quarterback pressures. Both of those guys are going to have an opportunity to come in and compete. Obviously, we'll be getting Khalil back off injury. Very excited about Nick and JB and Brian, and so that room, with those additions, turns into a real strength for us at a position that got dinged up with injuries pretty early. And so, for us building a roster to be competitive in this league, you have to have competitive depth, and then you got to allow young guys to grow into their opportunity.
With Trotter, you mentioned the importance of production at a certain level. When you see the kind of production he had, what does that tell you about how he plays?
Well, that's the thing. The production on tape is easy to identify. Obviously, there'll be a transition moving from the Big 12 to the SEC, but he's made of the right stuff. He's got the size and the framework. He's got the mentality. You can tell he loves football and prepares the right way. Just meeting with him, so we're excited, thinking that it's an investment and a really good player.
Coach, when it just comes to quarterback, whether it's going to be somebody in the program or who's currently outside, but just what are you kind of looking for traits-wise, on field, off field, as far as what you want to have in your quarterback room entering spring ball?
Toughness, preparation, decision-making, accuracy, and leadership are the 5 characteristics of elite quarterbacks, and it's been that way since I've been here, and it's not going to change. Quarterbacks come in all different shapes and sizes. You could talk about MVP Lamar Jackson, or you could talk about Tom Brady. You could talk about Pat Mahomes, or you could talk about Josh Allen. You could talk about Brock Purdy, or you can talk about Bo Nix. They're all a little bit different, but the characteristics that are the same is they're tough, both physically and mentally. They prepare the right way. They're very good decision makers with the ball in their hand. They don't put the ball in jeopardy. They don't lose football games because of the decisions they make. They're accurate throwing the football. There's no defense for the perfect throw. And so you got to have guys who can accurately throw the ball down the field. And then leadership components. Are they a group of guys that people want to be around and want to play hard for? You look at the best quarterbacks that Mizzou's had, and they've had those characteristics. You look at Brady Cook, he's got those characteristics. So that's what we look for. That's what we evaluate. And again, I feel confident that every day I lay my head on the pillow, and after I say my prayers, I'm thinking about, all right, are we doing everything we can to put this team in a position to compete for a championship, and how do I build a roster in order to do that? And if we need to add a quarterback, we will, and if we don't, we don't. I really feel confident that we have really good players in that locker room, and they all understand that if we feel like we can add a player to create competition, to bring the best out of everybody in the
And
Yeah.
do you expect him to be ready for spring ball?
So Sam is 11 months post-surgery, had a follow-up after the first week in December, which was the first opportunity that he had to begin throwing a football. He went to a well-renowned surgeon, well-renowned surgeon who majors in UCL surgeries, the Tommy John surgery, and we followed that breakdown or that rehab to a T between Zach Parker, our trainer, the baseball trainer. You know, we were adamant we did it right. Sam was present every day, here for meetings, practices, you know, would alternate on which days he could throw 3 days a week and just kind of built up his arm. He's now in the rehab phase, where he can throw a little bit, but he's not medically cleared to fully participate in practice and would not be able to fully participate in the game, so you will not see Sam Horn in game. But he has been able to go and ramp up his throwing, and we like everything we've seen so far. And yes, he does plan on participating in spring, and he does plan on participating, he's planning on doing both, which is why he signed here. So, and Coach Jackson and I have a great relationship, and we've worked out a plan in place, and you know, we've got a plan in place that'll allow him to be fully involved in baseball when it's time for baseball, but also in spring ball